All right, and then we are live here on YouTube, and I think we'll be live here soon as well. All right, awesome. Okay, so we are live here on YouTube and on Instagram. So, for anybody that's watching us, I just want to say first off, thank you guys for being here. As you guys can see, we have a really cool guest. So, if you guys don't know who this is, you guys will see him a lot on Sam's channel, on William's channel as well. And I believe you also support Divine Mercy Apologetics. So, I know they've all kind of done some stuff together, which is really cool. We have our dear brother, who we also know as King Silv, here on YouTube. He does apologetics and he focuses mostly on Islam, which is what we're gonna find out today. Like, what is his background? What's his story? Why did he decide to come after this? What is the purpose of him being here? So, first off, thank you, brother, for being here with us today. Thank you for taking the time to do this, and I can't wait to hear your story. And I know a lot of people actually were really excited that I said I was going to have you on. Um, so just go ahead and introduce yourself. Just tell us what
Yeah,
you
of
do.
course. Definitely. Thank you for having me over here, actually. It's my pleasure to even be here with you. Yeah, my name is, I go by King Silv. It just happened to be out of nowhere. I didn't, like, it wasn't even planned that I was going to come up with this name, but it just happened to be out of nowhere. And we'll talk about it even more, of course. What I do is I do apologetics defending the faith, but mostly I would say polemics against Islam and what Islam teaches, which is cold and dangerous stuff to society, and people need to be aware of that. So we'll touch on that obviously later on. But thank you for having me again over here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so I guess one of the questions that I think maybe for those who don't watch you, so tell us a little bit about your background, like what kind of like being of faith wise, what did you grow up as? Were you Catholic? Were you not, or how did that start for you?
Yeah, of course. I was born in Iraq. I'm actually Chaldean. For the ones that does not know what Chaldeans are, there we are Babylonians. Us and Assyrians. We're Babylonians. We are, the original people from, like, you read from the Bible, Assyrians, and the Chaldeans from Nineveh and Ur. So we are the ones, where Jonah came and preached the gospel to us, right? So we do trace way, way back, thousands of years. But yeah, my family is a Christian Catholic family, of course. We're Chaldean Catholic. We are in full communion with Rome. Yeah, I was always been a Christian. You know, uh, I'm not gonna say that I always practiced Christianity, even though that I used to go to church. I used to pray as well. What got me really deep in this, it was my older brother. He's the one that got me, into obviously apologetics. But then polemics has to do with TikTok. TikTok is the one that actually got me into doing polemics against Islam. Yeah.
So, so I guess, I mean, obviously now you're pretty devout. I mean, you do your apologetics here online. So like, what would you say? What was that turning point for you where you're like, you know what, maybe I should dig into this deeper? Because you said you weren't always practicing, and you said that your brother was kind of the one that helped you a little bit. But was there like a specific incident that maybe you can kind of share with us that was kind of like, well, this happened, or it's just one day you're like, maybe I should just do this? Did you ever consider maybe leaving Catholicism at one point?
That's a very good question. So here's what happened. We do have few Protestant friends, right? And what happened was it was between my older brother and one of them. So they always come. You need to come to Christ, stuff like that. Because you're not going to the right church, and Catholicism is this and that. So me and my brother did not know much about the faith. So my brother told him, listen, if what you're saying is 100% correct and true, then I'll go ahead and leave Catholicism. But I'm gonna have to do my research. I'm gonna have to go read, do my research, do my due diligence, then come back to you. But if it's the opposite way, then we'll have a discussion about it. So my brother did actually research. He actually read the history of the church. The papacy, filioque, intercession of saints, and so on and so forth. So he saw that everything that the Catholic Church is teaching is legit true, right? It's biblical. We could see it from the early church. The fathers taught it, and all of that. So he became apologetics as well, my older brother, but in the Arabic side, all
Uh-huh.
right? So he started doing shows and all of that. So I always looked at him, seeing what he was doing, listening to what he's saying, right? So I learned a lot, but I wasn't, like I wasn't in debt with him. So one time I created TikTok. By the way, my faith got a little bit stronger when I was listening to my brother, right? I used to go to church, but I wasn't like so focused on it. I was still on obviously fleshly, desires and all of that. So I created TikTok, and I don't know. I came up with the name of King Silv out of nowhere. By the way, it wasn't even meant to happen. Seriously. So I was just looking at, you scroll and look at other videos and all of that, and out of nowhere, I see a live. It was some Assyrians debating Muslims, and I was listening to it. I was like, let me see this. This looks interesting. So I was listening. I was listening. Then out of nowhere, the guy that was actually debating, I saw him the other day with a bunch of Assyrians as well. So I joined their live stream, and I was talking to them and all of that, and that's where everything started about polemics doing against Islam, about obviously apologetics, learning about the doctrine of the Catholic Church, going even in depth about it. What we really teach. Um, so that's when everything started, and I started reading a lot of books about Islam and what Islam teaches, or even what the Quran teaches. All right, that's when I started learning, gaining a lot of knowledge. Then I started debating, and I'm not gonna lie, I did get cooked one time. I think it was only one time that I got cooked. It was the beginning.
Is it on your channel or is it?
Uh, it was on somebody else's channel that I joined, and I thought that I got it. You know how it is. I joined in, and
Everyone's
the
gonna want to be looking that up.
yeah.
Anyways, and then so okay, so that's a really beautiful story. So then, um, what do you personally like? What do you love more? What do you love most about your faith, your Catholic faith? What are some of the things that you're like, this is it for me. This is why I love being Catholic.
Mm, that's a very good question, actually. Yeah. Well, there's multiple reasons why I love my faith and why I'm actually Catholic. The reason why, because we could trace it back to the apostles, Saint Peter, and we could. There's many evidence that we cannot reject, especially with the papacy. Even if we look at the papacy, church fathers testified on the authority of Saint Peter's chair. Right, so it's just amazing because it's a universal church. It's like a mother that looks up to her children, that wants to take care of her children. Same thing with the Catholic Church. We don't condemn even others, right? This is why Catechism 1817, says that the separate brothers are still considered to be our brothers and sisters in Christ, but they're only separate. They are within the invisible body of Christ, right? This is why I love the Catholic Church, because we still consider others, obviously the ones that believes in the triune God, and the baptism, our brothers and sisters in Christ, we don't condemn them, right? So this is the most thing that I like about the Catholic Church, because it wants to gather everybody, right? It wants to bring everybody to the fullness of the truth.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh wow. And what so it says next one is like what has been your favorite prayer? Your favorite Catholic prayer?
Yeah, of course. I've been praying. What was it? Let me see. I forgot the name, but I could tell you exactly what it is. Because me and my girl actually been praying it every single day. It's a daily prayer, like one. I think it's from one day to. I think it's 9 days. Sorry, it is 9 days. Yeah, of a prayer. But let me just go ahead and I
Is
have
it
it
like a
actually right here.
novena? Is that what it is?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Is that like a novena? Because I know sometimes there's like 9-day novenas to like our Blessed Mother.
Yeah, yeah. So here I have it. Let me just go ahead and put. Okay. All right. Yes, the Lorena of Humility. That one. I love that
Oh,
one
okay.
actually. I read that one, and there is another one that I actually like as well. It's called the Surrender Novena Prayer. Yes,
Okay.
that's the one.
Yeah, I had a feeling because I was like, I know there's a lot of them that like they're novenas and they're just really cool though, honestly, that we can choose a bunch of we could just choose any one that we'd like.
Yeah.
So now let's get into Islam because obviously, why not talk about the heretics over here? So in your opinion, what are some of the craziest, most absurd beliefs or practices that Islam has?
Whew, I don't know where to start with that one. I mean, they have
I
they
mean,
have
you could give
some.
us a list. I mean, we're all ears over here.
Yeah, of course. Um, there's many of them, but of course, when it comes to the child marriage, right? I'm that's I'm too sensitive with that, right? When it comes to the child marriage, that's a big issue. Obviously, that's one of the big issues I would say within the Islamic belief, and I would say Shia and Sunnah because they both believe in that, or even Quranis as well. It's worse even for the Quranis because they don't have no age limit within the Quran. It doesn't say that, but it only talks about the ones who have not reached the age of ministration. Now we know who are the ones who have not reached the age of ministration, right? Are the children's can be 1 years old. So that's one of the things that I usually talk about more to expose. Another thing would be their whole doctrine. To be honest with you, their whole doctrine is everywhere. It's always been Allah knows the best. Allah knows the best. It's like they don't have no answer. When they get cornered, there is no answer for that, right? Like when you ask them, for example, Allah has two right hands and one foot, or that enters the hellfire, right? He has a shin. You ask him, what are these? He'll tell you, well, those are literal. If he's a Salaf, he'll tell you those are literal, but we just don't know what they are. Wait, what? So and they always would go to Allah knows the best, right? So there is plenty, issues within Islamic belief, like the Quran, the preservation of the Quran that they always like to go to. Oh, the Quran is the best. No, hold on. When we go and look at the Quran, there is many contradictions. Not only many contradictions, but variants as well. And you guys don't have the full manuscripts. You guys have, like Surah Al-Fatiha. They have, I think, only 3 verses out of 10, and it's cut, and nobody knows who wrote it. So, they always like to go to the Bible, but their Quran is 10 times worse, right? So, yeah, I mean, and I could go dive in, later on about, and I could compare, of course, what Christianity truly teaches and what Islam teaches. So when they come and say, well, our Quran and this and that, no, that's not what it is. Right? You guys are telling everybody when you guys are not providing any evidence. At the same time, you guys are trying to deceive others by giving them the lovey-dovey, right? but they don't even know anything. And this is what sucks about people nowadays, is that they would listen, but they would not do their research. They would just like hear what this sheikh is saying, but they wouldn't even bother themselves going and doing their own research to make sure whether this is true or not.
It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me a bit of like how Protestants like to say, well, Catholics like to do this and that, but really it's the complete opposite, and they just misconstrue everything that we also believe in as well. Which, good thing is that they don't go to the extreme. But like, I know, like, for example, for Catholicism, like a lot of people, they don't want to convert because they're like, oh, they worship the saints and the and Mary and this and that, and I'm like, sure. and but I think, and what's curious to me is like, I'm seeing there's a lot of rise of people wanting to speak up against Islam, like especially just against everything that they believe in. Like, and we also know that there's people like not only yourself, but there's people like Sam as well who goes very hard on them. So like, when you are faced with a Muslim, like what is your mentality going in and speaking with them? Is it, I'm gonna prove that I'm right? Is it, I'm gonna try to plant that seed maybe of doubt in them, so maybe they'd want to come over to the fullness of the truth? Or like, what's your mentality going in when you're speaking with them?
Yeah, of course. It's always about planting the seed because we can't convert them, right? We're not the ones that actually convert, but will be God is the one that will convert them. What we could do is we could plant the seed, right? We could tell them what their religion teaches. Now, if they want to accept it, that's up to them. If they want to deny it, then that's up to them too, right? All we could do is show them what this teaches and what the Bible says as well, right? Give them the Bible, preach to them the gospel. That's all what we could do. But I talk to each and individual different, right? So if a Muslim comes and he's arrogant, prideful, right, and then he wants to act like he's no, I'll treat him a different way. I'm not saying that I will, you know, uh, say this and not. No, I'll treat him a different way where I will give him the same energy that he's giving me because I already know that this person is not coming over here listening. He doesn't want to listen. He wants to prove me otherwise, right? So now it's not coming down to planting the seed within him, right? But it's about refuting him at that point, right? So this is how I take everybody. I take everybody differently, right? So if someone comes and he's sincere or she's sincere, I'll spend hours with them. I have no issue with that. I'll spend hours with them teaching them, you know. But there's always these kind of people that are just, nasty, right? And they just want to come and blaspheme and talk and all of that. So I always like to do it this way. I always like to prove them and go hard on them within their own religion and what their religion teaches.
So, have you got any like good experiences or bad experiences with Muslims? Because I'm assuming you get, I'm assuming you get a bit of both, but I wouldn't be surprised if you get a little more of the ones that try to fight you on the topics.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much every single day. It's yeah. They always they always insult or they put my picture on their created a what's it called, a TikTok, a new TikTok under my name, put in my photo in there, and it's just some crazy stuff. But yeah, this is, and let me be straight honest about it. Muslims hate the ones that speak Arabic.
Oh,
They hate them, like they don't want to see them. Why? Because they think that we betrayed them
oh,
because we know how to speak the language because we are from Middle East. Yeah, that's how they look at it.
oh
They
wow.
look at it that we are betraying them. How dare we to betray them, right? So they hate us the most because we can see what their book says. We could dive into their books because not every book is translated to in English, right? There's a lot of books out there that are only in Arabic, right? So that's why they can't stand us, and especially us. Like you have Ahmadi ex-Muslim, you have me. Even Sam, see, here's the thing. Let me say this. Sam, if he knew how to speak Arabic, I would have said that he's the first. I would have said he's the best, and nobody could. Why? Because of the amount of knowledge that he has within Islamic belief, and it's insane. Why? I mean, imagine he doesn't even know how to speak Arabic, but the amount of knowledge that he has that nobody even has within the Western society, right? So, yeah. So when it comes to that, they always hate the Arabic speakers. You know, so
And so, what advice would you give to somebody who maybe one day they come across a Muslim and they're, just talking? Like, what would be some advice that you would give to like a either just a ordinary Christian or just a specific Catholic?
yeah, of course. What advice I would give to them as for a Christian or for a baby Christian or
Just for any Christian that's maybe one day they come across a Muslim. Not saying that they're looking for it, but if they do, what would be the best take or what would be the best approach to talk to them? Because I do notice, and correct me if I'm wrong, I do notice that a lot of people say like when you're engaging Muslims, like you have to be a little. Sometimes you have to be a little more stern and a little more firm than usual because they're not. They will eat you up if you're too soft.
oh yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah, you gotta have to stand your feet. Not only that, what I would give as an advice is that they have to know their faith. They have to know their faith, whether they're, I mean, Protestants. I would love you to come to the fullness of the truth. To the Catholic Church that Christ established. As an advice, of course, it'll be, know your faith before you go up there, before you have these kind of conversations. See what the arguments are against Islam. Um, Learn from others. Just listen. That's what I did too in the beginning. I was listening left and right, until I learned many arguments. So I would do that for sure. Don't go up there if you don't know anything, just because you're zealous, right? Because of your faith, you love your faith, you're so passionate. Don't do that. You're embarrassing yourself instead of defending it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, just learn your faith, and that's about it.
And then, so who are some of the people that you like to look at when it comes to the faith? Like whether it's going against the Muslims.
When it comes to the debating,
Yeah.
um, I love Sam's style. Sam's style is really good because he doesn't give you any chance. He doesn't let the other opponent to dominate. He's always the dominant guy, right? This is what I like about him, right? And he's always on point, right? He knows how to cross-examine you. He knows how to hold you into the fire. So I always like to look at him as an example of debating. When it comes to debating, him and I would give another one. Logic. Logic is good at building arguments. He's good at going with the argument, right? Corner you with the argument. So I would say those two for now. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting. I mean, oh, let me not forget. William is another good one. When it comes to Catholicism. Mariology or intercession of saints, so on and so forth. He's really good at you know in regarding his cross exam as well.
And then I like all those people, so that's great. The only one I don't really watch is God Logic, just because I've heard, some positives, some negatives, but I
Right.
mean, I'm sure he's great. I know I saw the stream that you guys I think it was you guys that did it with him, you and
Yeah.
Sam, the God Logic. So that was a fun one to watch. Um, so do you regret any videos or any of the lives or collaborations that you've done?
Um, not that I know of. No, I think it's always been great. It's always been amazing, what I have done so far with collabing with uh, with others, right?
Hmm.
I wouldn't say that I would regret, but yeah, I'll just keep it as
Very humble.
it.
What's your favorite one that you've done? Video, live stream, or collaboration?
What's the favorite one? Let me see. Actually, that's a good one. Let's see. Well, it was definitely good, you know, um, to collab with William or Sam as well. And by the way, the one that actually got to, like me and William got to meet, it was James.
Oh, Divine
Divine
Mercy.
Mercy Apologetics is the
Oh,
one
I
that
love
actually
him.
got
He's
us
great.
together. Because I never knew William, right? If I'm being honest, I never knew William, right? So, or even Sam. Sam as well. It was Divine Mercy Apologetics. Sam knows me because of some beef, some beef that happened, and I'm pretty sure we all know about that. So he was like he got the wrong picture about me. So, but I guess after that he wanted to talk to me. So Divine Mercy Apologetics, did a 3-way call, and yeah, since then it's been great.
um. So, well, who's somebody that maybe you'd like to collaborate that you haven't with already, or someone maybe that you'd like collaborate, and who would you like to debate that you haven't already?
Uh, that's a good one. I don't. Let me see. Collaborate. I would love to actually. Yeah, I would love to collaborate with Trent Horn. I feel like Trent Horn is really up. Of course, I mean he's already up there. I like the way that he goes about, the way that he breaks things down. He's really good at it. So I would like to actually, collaborate with him. Hopefully one day. I mean, who knows? Yeah. So that will be the one, right? Um, I don't think that I can remember any others as of now, of course.
Yeah. What about debating wise? Like, is there anybody that you would really want to debate? Whether it's somebody that's supposedly knows about Islam or just a different person in general.
Yeah, yeah. All of the Dawas are listening. Hey, listen, you. Hey, you. If you want to debate, if I'm challenging all of you guys, right? If
Mm.
you guys want to debate, about the Islamic dilemma, whether it's Islamic dilemma, whether you guys want to do that, Muhammad is associating partners with Allah or the Shirk of Islam, you're more than welcome to email me and we could get it going.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's not a specific, person. Like, I'll just give it out there, right, to the public, especially if they're knowledgeable about what they're talking about. You know, I have no issue. I think I've had a discussion with Sneeko. Well, Sneeko is not even. We wouldn't even consider him that.
Sneakers, yeah.
Yeah, I've had discussions with Sheikh Athman, which I feel like it was not a fair discussion because he was trying to dominate, controlling, muting, doing all of that because it was live. It wasn't even, in person. Um, so I would love to have a discussion with him. Hopefully, if I could catch him. Damn, I can't even catch him. Even if he used to go to Balboa Park, not anymore. You
Mm.
know. So him, I would say, Jake, the what was his name? I don't even know his last name. Metaphysics or something like that. Jake, the metaphysics. We call him the snake. He's a snake.
That's
So
funny.
I hope that I could have a discussion with him. See if he can hold his ground. I've had discussions with Hamza. I don't know. Do you know Hamza Dean?
I've heard the name, but I don't. I'm not too
Hamza
familiar.
Dean. It was actually a group of them, right? Hamza
Okay.
Dean and what's the other guy's name? I forgot. A couple others, anyways. I went in to have a discussion with them, right? I brought up and obviously Muhammad associated partners with Allah. They started manifesting out of nowhere. So I got kicked one time, and I was brought back. Then we catched him. Of course, we catched Hamza slipping. When I asked him one of the questions, it was so funny. But yeah, at the end of the day, the challenge is open to all of you guys, to all of the Dawah boys, right? You guys know yourself. You guys want to have a discussion or even a formal debate about Islamic dilemma, or even Muhammad did associate partners with Allah? Then let's get it done.
You know who I would love, and just because Sam and I did this when I collaborated with him, we reacted to I forgot what his name was, Sakir or something. Um,
Zakir Naik?
yes.
Okay, so
Honestly, I would love to see either you or Sam go up against him. That'd be kind of cool. I don't think he
yeah,
would.
of course. Zakir Naik is just I feel like he's a bot that like he's a bot. He's set on like the Dawa script, right?
Oh,
So he has like the Dawa script and he just reads it, he just cherry pick within the Bible. That's what he does, right? So he's trying to sugarcoat what Islam is about. He doesn't give you the legit Islam. So that's what Zakir Naik is about. And I would love to have a discussion. Man, the amount of lies that he spread, it's good to expose him.
yeah. So, do you why do you think? Okay, actually, no. Let's backtrack. So, how can you tell? Because obviously, there's a lot of people that claim to know a lot of different things, claim to be really knowledgeable about different religions, whether it's Catholicism, Islam, Protestantism, etc. For Islam specifically, how do you know, and how can you tell that somebody's actually knows what they're talking about when it comes to Islam?
Yeah. Um, is that they would know the basic stuff. If they know the basic stuff for example, between hadith and athar, right, that would at least get you out of the first step to know what Islam is about. Because not many of them knows about Islam. Like Muslims, not every Muslim knows about Islam, right? And I would say majority of them does not know. If I have to give percentage wise, I would say about 75, 80 people don't know anything about it. Well, they know a little bit about Islam, but they don't know, you know, details about Islam, what Islam truly teaches. All they do is go and pray the 5 daily prayers, right? They go to mosque, whatever it is, and come back. Or they don't even do all of that. They're just human beings living their life, right? So that 20% are the ones that knows what Islam teaches, right? So not many of them. So when we and how do we know that this person knows what he's talking about? Obviously, just by asking him a simple question. Do you know your aqidah, which is your doctrine? What is your doctrine? What is the difference between athar and hadith, right? Where, for example, was your prophet ever bewitched, right? If he answers these questions, then he knows what he's talking about, right? So that's how I go about it, at least.
Stay posted. When they admit that Muhammad was a pedophile, they're not. Y'all are crazy in the comments over here. That's funny. Um, but yeah, it's just it really does blow my mind because I feel. Do you feel like there's an increase in people turning to Islam or turning away from Islam?
um, I could see a lot of people are leaving Islam, and and it's happening every single day in the Middle East. I know that they would not put the numbers out there because they will be killed. They will be gone bye bye. If they will say that they have apostatized, right? They will get rid of them. But I can bet you that there is many thousands of Muslims that are converting to Christianity, whether it's Christianity or whether that they're becoming atheist at that point. Do I see people that are converting to Islam? Yeah, I have seen people that are already converted to Islam, and I would say specifically the Western, because they don't know what Islam is about. They will just tell them one God, the brother, one God. We believe in all of the prophets. That's it. It's lovey dovey. Come to Islam. It's the peaceful religion. It's amazing, you know. And the guy was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, all right, cool. Let me take the shahada." You know, and this is what it is about. This is it's so stupid, right? But when you think about it, you're like, are they serious? They're deceiving them, and it's happening right now, and they're not even bothering themselves to tell them, you know what? I get what you're saying. Now I'm gonna go do my own due diligence to know whether Islam is the truth or not. Do your own research. No, they wouldn't even bother themselves to do their own research. You know, as long as that they could, get deceived, they allow them to get deceived. They will take the shahada and they will become a Muslim.
So what? Okay. So I guess my question would be: if someone asked you, why should we be Catholic and not Muslim? What would your response be?
Yeah, well, there's many reasons. Obviously, of course, if we even go back to the Old Testament, right, where Christ has been prophesied in Isaiah, especially Isaiah. I love the book of Isaiah because it gives you the prophecies of Christ, and we could prove only within that Christianity is the truth, right? When it talks about the that Christ will come, he will be pierced, he will be crucified for all of our sins, right? So, and Christ comes and fulfill all of these prophecies that has been prophesied in Isaiah, Daniel, Zechariah. Then we have to take it for consideration, right? Because if prophecies has been fulfilled and they are true, then that means that these are from the true living God. We cannot deny it, right? And of course, um, there's many evidence, right? Simple as that, apostolic succession that traces back to the apostles, the eyewitnesses that saw everything. Nobody's gonna die for a lie. I don't think a person would die for a lie if he knew that that's a lie. He would not die for that. And as you know, we have a lot of martyrs, right, within our own faith. Obviously, the disciples. Peter himself was crucified upside down, right, for his own faith, for believing in Christ and following Christ and doing the will of God, right? And many others. Not only them, of course, we have church fathers, Polycarp, you know, uh, many church fathers that actually was martyrs as well. Why? Because of their faith. And we have many eyewitnesses, right? We have manuscripts that dates back, right? Like Dead Sea Scroll, right? Septuagint, all of these, Codex Vaticanus, right? All of these manuscripts that dates back that we could see that, yeah, you know what? The Old Testament is true. It matches on what we have. The New Testament is true and it matches what we have as well. So there's plenty evidence to show over there. Now, if you're gonna tell me, well, about Islam, I could give you a simple argument, which everybody likes to argue about it. Everybody likes to bring it, which is the Quran makes the claim that it does confirm the Injil and the Torah, right? And they had it in the 7th century, right, where the Jews and the Christians, and they were reading it, and the Quran makes the claim that they were judging by it. But when we go to the previous scriptures, which is the Injil and the Torah, what we have, it totally contradicts what the Quran is saying. So you can't have both, right? So the Quran is making that claim, but then we go check, we see that it contradicts what the previous scripture says, and that means that the Quran is false, right? Whether even they want to go down to, well, your scriptures has been corrupted, your Quran is still false because it's still confirming those corrupted scriptures, right? Which is crazy, insane, right? And this is just, of course, if I'm granting them that, which I would never ever grant them, right? So there's many reasons that we can see that Islam is false, especially when it comes to the goodness of God, We know that God is good. God cannot be evil. He cannot participate in evilness, right? And we see clearly from the Quran that Allah is the one that is sending the devils. He is the one that is deceiving. He is the one that is deceiver, right? And he is the one that is called to be al-mutakabbir, which is the prideful one. But he goes on and tell his believers not to be prideful. Make it make sense. We don't know. Allah is the prideful one, but he goes and tell his believers, which is the Muslims, not to be prideful. Doesn't make any sense. But anyways, just to go on, you know, um,
I mean, you could keep going. I mean, this is all really interesting.
yeah. So when I go and look at what the Quran is, and I go look at the shaitan, and if I'm being totally honest, and Allah, there is no difference between Allah according to the Quran and the shaitan, which is the devil. The devil misleads people, Allah misleads people. The devil is the deceiver, Allah is the deceiver. The devil sends his minion, devils, against the disbelievers or against the believers. Allah does the same thing. He sends the devils against the disbelievers to mislead them but not to guide them. I mean, we can see, whatever that the shaitan has, that Allah has as well. So I just put it in a simple way. I could go on and on, but yeah.
And so I guess the thing is, so how'd you get the name King Silv for your channel?
Yeah, it just happened to be out of nowhere when I first started. It was TikTok. I created TikTok under this name, which happened to be out of nowhere. Seriously,
So
I
there
just
was no
and
reason. There's no like specific King
no,
Silv. Like that's just it just
there's no
happened.
reason for that. Trust me, because I wasn't even planning on doing any polemics or apologetics when I created this account on TikTok. I came up. It just I don't know how I came up with King Solf. You know, then like I was telling you, I saw Assyrian brothers debating Muslims. And that's how I got into a polemics, and it just stayed like this. I never changed it, but yeah.
So have you? Because obviously, like I've noticed, like on your channel, like you do a lot, like is like focusing more on like Islam and refuting it, and obviously, but then honestly, like a lot of us here, we're very aware that there's other streamers that don't just do Islam; they do Protestants as well, other different religions. Have you ever thought about exploring it, or have you ever done it, or is it just not your thing? Or
Oh, it's not a. It's not that it's not my thing. I have done. I don't know if you know. I did a debate with JP, right, about intercession of saints, and it wasn't too long ago. I like to talk about Catholicism, of course. I always like to talk about it. I always like to talk about what we believe as far as filioque, papacy, intercession of saints, and so on and so forth. But I wasn't like, I'm not gonna say that's my best area, right? That's why you know, I lit that with William. You have Divine Mercy Apologetics. You have many of them out there. Horn, many of them that could actually go about these. I still love to talk about it, but my main goal is obviously to expose the coldness of Islam, because Islam is very dangerous to the society, even if it's, let's say, for example, it's still false, right? But it's actually dangerous to the society. Just like how we have Mormons. Mormons are false, but they're not dangerous to the society. You wouldn't see a Mormon going out there saying, Allah Akbar, and he does this and that, or he kills. No, but you see Muslims does this. Why? Because the Quran teaches them. The religion teaches them this, right? So, and this is a reason why I like to expose them, because I grew up with them. I
oh,
was there. I know what they are. I'm not going to say that all of them are bad people. No, of course not. There's many good Muslims out there. They will help you, they will love you, all of that. But the religion teaches this, and no matter what, they will still follow what the religion says,
no,
and that's the big issue.
no. I mean. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's true. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say like, not a lot of Muslims actually know their faith very well, which that could apply to anybody as well. You know, even
Yeah,
Catholics, like not everybody knows their faith as well as they should be. I'm guilty of that, and
true.
Sam can testify to that. Which, by the
Yeah.
way, did you see Sam's comment? Really? I think we're letting him fall asleep.
Z.
Yeah. He always likes to make an appearance. He's great on that. But so yeah, so Islam obviously has been your thing. Um, do you regret any of the ways? I mean, do you wish that more Muslims would like convert easily, or do you find it difficult to try to like talk to them sometimes? Like even because I know some of them are like can be really nice or they're either really mean. So for like the nice ones, do you see that they're easily persuaded, or do you find it a little difficult to try to get them to break out of that from what they're so accustomed to?
Yeah, many of them actually have that wall in them, to talk to. It's too hard to talk to, right? Because they're zealous. They would like to defend their religion, which I understand. No issue with that. But when I'm showing you something that it's within your own belief, right? And God give us a brain that we have to think, right? And use logic behind it, use wisdom behind it. But they don't have that. Why? Because they're deceived into what Islam teaches, right? So they don't think outside of that box. So yeah, I mean, we do have issues, of course, with them because it's too hard, but to communicate with them, because many of them, I would say that they always like to come up, and if they, see us reading a hadith or even giving them a legit argument from their own belief, they will get mad and they whether start cussing, blaspheming, or running to the Bible. There's only minority of them that would come and sit and have a good discussion with you. Like they will want to listen. They want to see what your argument is. If it makes total sense. If it makes a lot of sense. So for most of the time, it is hard to deal with them because basically you're dealing with demonic spirits. You're dealing with demons. And it's hard, because it does affect you as well. Like me doing polemics, it does kind of affect me as well. So what I have to do is obviously I have to wash myself every single day by by praying and reading the Bible and so on and so forth, just to get that nastiness, right, of Islam out of me.
And so I know this is probably going to be a very loaded question, but we'll see if you're up for the task on this one. Obviously, over the last month or so, there was been a lot of controversy about like whether we worship the same God.
Yeah.
So, what will your response be to that?
Yeah, Vatican too. I love it. Nostra Aetate. Well, they have, see, this is the problem. They have a lot of people don't want to go, and do their own due diligence, right? What do we mean by that? We mean by natural theology. Even church fathers actually affirm this position. Many church fathers affirm this position. So now, do we worship the same God as the Muslims? Yes, right? And I'm going to be specific about this because now, if you're going to go ask a Muslim, right, who are you going to see when you die? He's going to say God. And there's only one true living God, right, that he's going to meet. He's going to meet Jesus, right? He's not going to meet some Baal, Buddha. No. So what we say that they attend to worship that true living God, even it's in error for them. They don't have it in the fullness, right? They don't have that God in the fullness. So we don't say, obviously, the God of the Quran is the same God of the Bible. No, we're talking about the Muslims that are attending to worship that God. They are looking, for that God, right? Those are the ones, right, that they are worshiping the same God as us, right? But that doesn't mean that their prayers, requests will be accepted, right? We don't say that the prayer will be accepted, that, Yahweh is going to answer them. No, it's all up to them, right? It's all up to Yahweh, right? So, and even Catechism, I think Catechism 844, 839 all the way to 846 actually explains it. That their God has an error, even though it has an error within, the description of their God, right? But we still worship that same God in a sense of that there is only one creator that created everything, right? And there is elements of truth within the Quran. Like, for example, Jesus was born out of the Virgin Mary, right? We have that as well. You know, uh, Jesus is Messiah. We have that as well. We believe in that, right? Jesus is sinless. They believe in that as well. So we have elements of truth on between both of us, right? And what we have to do is we have to preach the gospel to them. Now it's a good time to preach the gospel to them, to show them the fullness of the truth, to bring them to the fullness of the truth, right? To Christ, to accept Christ. Like, for example, let me just give an example out there. There's people that live in North Korea. North Korea, right? Where they don't have access to Wi-Fi, right? They don't have access to Wi-Fi and all of that, but they believe in the creator. They don't know who's that creator, just like St. Paul talked about it as well in Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken, where he says, now I came to proclaim, right, the true living God to you guys, which is the God that you guys were worshiping him, but you guys don't know anything about him. That's what St. Paul says, and we could dive into that as well. But the point is that I'm trying to make, that they do believe in the creator, but they don't know who he is. They do good deeds, they do what they had to do, then they die. Are we saying that God is not going to extend his grace upon them? That they don't know who Christ is? I know that a lot of people will bring the verse, well, whoever that denies the Father will deny the Son. But wait a minute. Did they truly deny the Son? Did they know the Son? No. I'm talking about the ones that don't know the Son, right? So they always like to bring this argument of the Son. If you deny the Son, that means you denying the Father who art in heaven, right? But no, it's not that they're denying the Son. They don't even know the Son. It's on us to go and preach the gospel to them. Now, if it's made to be aware to them, now if they know what is the gospel and they know who Christ is, and they're still rejecting it, now they are risking their salvation. They have no excuse anymore, right? Like, for example, you have Lesbiano, you have Jake. They're actually aware of what Christianity teaches. They're aware of all of these teachings. Now that they're worshiping the Satan. Now they're not worshiping the true living God. They're not worshiping that God, but they're worshiping Satan at that point because they're rejecting the true living God. They're rejecting his teachings. They don't want that. So we could make the distinction between formal, right, which has been made formal to that person, or he's ignorant of it, that he doesn't know or she doesn't know. So that's how we explain when it comes to the Vatican II, and especially people will come and say, whether some of the Eastern Orthodox or even Protestants will say, well, your Vatican II is this and that. But wait a minute, even the Bible talks about it as well, where St. Paul was talking, I think, to, if I'm not mistaken, to Gentiles, if I'm not mistaken, that they were worshiping, right, a God that they don't know. It's unknown for them. They don't know anything about that God. But what did St. Paul said? He said, now I came to proclaim, right? That God that you guys don't know who he is, which is Yahweh. Did he say, you know what? No, 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 you guys are worshiping the false God. Now I'm gonna come and tell you guys which God that you guys are supposed to worship, which is the true living God. Did St. Paul really said that? No, he didn't say that. He said the opposite way. He said, no, you guys are worshiping, yes, you guys are worshiping that true living God, but it's unknown for you guys. You guys don't know who he is. Now I come to proclaim that God, to make it known for you guys. Right? And we could see many verses, by the way, in regarding this, even if we go to uh Acts or Galatians or I think Corinthians or even Colossians talks about it as well. So if they have issue with this, then they're gonna have to go against the church fathers because Saint Irenaeus actually affirms this position, which we call natural theology, right? And many other church fathers as well.
Wow, it's a really good explanation about that. I never understood that because I know they're like, oh yeah, we do, and I'm like, how's that even possible? So I guess so. What you're saying is like, obviously, okay, so like we believe in a God, they believe in a God as well. So, but they can still either we can say that we believe in the same God, even though they may not understand fully who God is.
Yeah,
So that's
since that
still
they're
acceptable.
professing, yes, since that they're professing the Abrahamic faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are professing the Abrahamic faith. They do believe in one God, right? So we say that in that sense, yes, we do worship the same God, but it's unknown for them. It's unknown. They don't know who that God is until they come to the fullness of the truth, of course. You know, but the ones that are known, there's a distinction between the ones that knows the gospel, the ones that are aware of these teachings, right? Then the ones that don't know, that are ignorant, right? So
So
we
does the
make the
Quran?
distinction.
So sorry. So does the Quran? Does it tell them at all like who their God is?
Yeah, it gives you the description of what the God of the Quran is, and of course, that's not the same God as us. By the way, just to make it clear for everybody, because that God of the Quran is a Baal, right? Of the Quran, where he deceives, he sends devils, he does the evilness. We don't believe in that, no.
So then how can we say that that's okay? So I guess I'm not understanding then. So how can we say like yeah we worship the same God, but let's say somebody obviously worships God, but they believe in what the God that is believed in the Quran. So isn't that what all Muslims normally? Isn't that what they normally all go to, or am I
No,
missing
because
something here?
no, not really, because we're talking about the ones that are ignorant, right?
Okay,
That they
okay.
are worshiping, they are attending to worship that same God, just like how they profess the Abrahamic faith, right? So what we say, since they have elements, some elements of the truth, that Jesus is the Messiah, Jesus was born out of virgin, right? And since there is one creator, yes, they are attending to worship the same God as us, right? But they don't know who that God is. It's unknown for them, right? So for them to know the truth about God, now it's on us to go and preach the gospel to them, to show them who that God is, just like how St. Paul did. St. Paul did the same thing. He went and, proclaimed, right, or showed them who Yahweh was. They were still worshiping God, right? So this is how we look at Muslims as well, right? Because not everybody knows what Christianity teaches. Not everybody knows what Christ taught, right? So that's why we always make the distinction between the formal and between the ones that are ignorant.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
um, so does anybody in the chat, does anybody have any questions before we wrap this up? Any questions? Because I know earlier St. Faustina asked, if I'm not mistaken, I think she asked a question earlier. And maybe she did. I think she was asking, like, so then why are you Catholic? I think when you were trying to explain.
By the way, Byzantine made a good point as well in the comment. He says, "Amen." That's why Jesus told some of the Pharisees that they're sons of Satan because that was after they had learned this truth and they still rejected it.
Jesus. Yep, Protestants. Oh,
Yep,
that's
that's a very good point. Yep.
you sound like a goat when you say Balbo. Say Faustina's comments crack me up sometimes. Have you met any of these people? Like I know you have a pretty decent amount of like you have a really good following, but have you ever met them in person?
um, I've met couples, but not here. I've met Avery. I've met Albie. Yeah. Um, who else did I met? Oh, I've met a couple others from TikTok as well.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we are planning on doing a trip to New York next
yeah.
year. Me, hopefully, me, Sam, and William. We're
Mm,
gonna take over New York.
yeah, we gotta make sure they all lose weight though. Maybe have them grow some hair. Of course
All
not.
right.
Does anybody have any questions for our lovely brother here before we drop this thing? Because man, we hit the hour mark. That's pretty good. You a yapper just like me, brother. But oh man,
Guys, don't ask any hard questions. Okay, only easy question.
no,
If you
ask them
guys
the hard questions, guys. Come on.
got any.
Um. Anyways, so obviously since you're Catholic, I like to ask people this. Um, if you could sit down with anybody, oh, is it too finest? Were you a Muslim before?
No, you know that I was a Muslim.
RB says, "What faith is your family? Like your parents and ancestors?" We kind of hit that in the beginning, but do you want to kind of summarize for them?
Yeah, I'm Chaldean, so Chaldeans and Assyrians are Babylonians. As you can see, according to the Old Testament, it mentions the Chaldeans and Assyrians. You know, the Assyrian Empire were originally from Iraq. Iraq used to be our own country, which is Nineveh, or and they were all Christians. Yeah, I mean, we are Christians, and we are in full communion. I think we became in full communion with Rome in 1512, if I'm not mistaken, because we were a part of Church of the East, the Assyrian Church of the East first, us Chaldeans. Then
So wait,
we
is your
left.
liturgy different then? I'm assuming, right?
It's different than the land, but it's ancient.
So
It's
what's
really cool because of Aramaic. We do it in Aramaic, of course, and it traces back, right? It traces back to 1,000 years, right? Where the time of Christ. So it's pretty nice. You should go one day. I mean, I don't know if there is any Chaldean Catholic church near you, but if there is, yeah, you should do it.
I know my friend and I were planning on visiting a Byzantine Rite Catholic church, but I don't think we have any Chaldeans because our state is not that like
Hmm.
it
Okay.
doesn't have a large variety of things. But let me check. I don't think it
Got it.
does. Yeah, there is not any, unfortunately. But Chicago is near us. It's like 3 4 hours to us. So maybe if Chicago has any, then maybe we can do that. You know, but yeah, see, because oh no, you're fine, RB. If you missed it from the beginning, that's fine. We didn't have that many people, anyways. But anyways, so yeah. So my question was, um, if you could sit down from anybody from the Bible and you had 5 minutes to talk to them, not including the Holy Family, who would it be and why?
Wait, can you repeat your question? Sorry.
If you could sit with anybody and talk to them for 5 minutes only from the Bible, who would it be and why? And it does not include the Holy Family.
From the Bible. So who would
Yeah.
it be? Okay. Shoot. Let's see. Hmm. I would. I'm kind of stuck between St. Paul and St. Peter.
I always say St. Paul for me. I'm a sucker
St.
for
Paul was a warrior. Oh man. Yeah, Saint Paul was a warrior. I would go with Saint Paul. I would love to, yeah, to gain that wisdom, knowledge from Saint Paul, man.
I feel like I feel like Sam and St. Paul would get along very well.
They would get along,
I feel
huh?
like they would. They would. I feel like Sam would be like, I let me help you write down the letters and stuff. It's because he's very, yeah. I know because St. Paul did not play. I will say that.
No, no, no.
So he was fire.
He was a G for sure. Yeah.
It says, how did you and Sam meet? I know you're both Chaldean Assyrian
That's-
deniers, but that doesn't necessarily mean you know each other. LOL.
Yeah. Sam already knew me through Albi because Albi has told him I wish if it was good things, but it was bad things. He told him that we had a fight and so on. So Sam had that against me that I wasn't a good person, stuff like that. Until Divine Mercy Apologetics got us together, right? Got us to talk, three-way call. So I started talking with Sam, and he got to know me, and then that's pretty much how it all started.
Have you ever been blocked by him? He blocked me.
No, no, I've never gotten blocked by him.
He blocked my number for 3 days because I made
He
him
did.
mad. But
Damn.
that was my fault, and I do admit, and he knows that. Like that's my fault, and it wasn't on purpose. But I'm very slow regaining like information sometimes, and so like I would ask him like these questions, and then because you know how Sam, like when he teaches somebody, like he asks you questions to kind of see like if you're paying attention, and I
Yeah,
and
but he
I
should know. But he should know not everybody's as fast as him. I mean,
yeah, I know, but I mean I think I drove him crazy, poor man. Um, but yeah, so 3 days, and it's like, by the way, it's like you can message me now again. And it's like he didn't block me from his channel, but it was just on his phone. I think
yeah,
I don't know if he actually did block me, but I think he told me like he's like I did block you for 3 days. I'm like I didn't even notice.
damn.
I really am gonna purge him with less years in purgatory, guys. It's gonna be great. Um, so yeah, so okay, so let's talk saints. Um, who's your patron saint? Do you have one?
Favorite one?
Yeah, or yeah, a favorite
Yeah,
patron saint.
Saint Charbel. Saint Charbel will be my main, saint that I love. But of course, Mother Mary. I mean, no doubt about that. She's the Queen of Heaven. So no doubt about it. She's my mother. So, but Saint Charbel, will be the one that I like, that I really like. And I've watched this movie. I don't know if you watched this movie. It's this pretty nice movie. They have translated it to an English. It's in Arabic, but translated to an English. It's this really cool movie that that they did and gave his story. How Charbel went about it and all of that. So I'd recommend everybody, the ones that have not watched that movie, you guys should go watch it. It's really nice.
What's it called?
You could just type Saint Charbel's movie, Saint Charbel's movie, and it'll just come out. It'll pop out.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a good one.
okay. I will definitely look that up. Does anybody have any questions for this man before we let him go? It doesn't matter how weird it is.
It's just called. I think it's called Charbel. Yeah, Saint Charbel. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Which, by the way, guys, I don't. You guys didn't get to hear this, but we prayed in what is it, Arabic, right? Arabic or Aramaic? Did you do the prayer before we started the
Oh, it
stream?
was actually Aramaic. I did it in
Yeah,
Aramaic. Yeah.
yeah. He did that, guys. It was so cool. I had no idea what he said, but I was like, Amen. So it was beautiful, and I love that. So that's pretty cool. So, oh yeah, which I know I asked you this, but maybe you can clarify for us. How many languages do you speak fluently, or how many languages can you pray in?
Yeah, I speak. Well, I still know how to speak four, but now three. I know English, Arabic, and and Surat, which is Chaldean, Assyrian, whatever you want to call it. Um, that's I used to know how to speak Kurdish, Turkish. Now I know how to speak a little bit, not much. So yeah.
All right. So, oh, look, it says in the Middle East, what are the different saints they venerate compared to the West, if you've noticed?
uh, of course, we have Saint Thomas. Saint Thomas. We have who else we have? Man, I forgot. Saint Charbel, of course, he's venerated. Who else? Rita was her name. Rita. She's venerated as well in Maronite Catholic Church. I forgot. In the Chaldean Catholic Church and Assyrian, what was his name that was venerated? I'm not good with names, guys. Seriously, I'm really not good with names when it comes, to the saints. Like, I kind of forget. So let me just see. Yeah,
Oh, we
like,
have a question. We have a couple
yeah.
questions from Instagram as well. Meanwhile, you're looking that up.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just remember. Oh yeah, it's
I just
called
remembered.
San Edde and Mari.
Ooh,
San Edde
okay.
and Mari. Yeah, are the ones the saints that are venerated within the Chaldean Catholic Church. Not only Chaldean, by the way, the Assyrian, the Church of the East.
Oh, yeah, somebody asked about your profile picture. What's up with your profile picture on YouTube?
What about it?
They I know I had somebody ask me about that. They're like, because it looks I generated, so AI generated.
It's an AI. Yeah, that one is an AI for sure.
Did you do that on purpose though?
I did it. Yeah. Because I mean, it's just the clothes. To be honest with you, like it's just the Middle Eastern clothes, right? So I was like, you know what? Let me do that. I know I might get people's attention, which it will, and the Muslims would think that I'm a Muslim, but you can't go based on what the clothes, just because I have a picture of me wearing that clothes, don't mean that I'm a Muslim, because there is
Yeah,
Christians
a
that
lot
wear
of people thought that. They're like, you're like, you're gonna have a Muslim on your show? That's not good, sister. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no.
that.
I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm like, please watch the stream before you assume this. I'm like, I
Right.
am the least prepared to talk to a Muslim. Thank you very much. So, no hate towards them, but I'm still learning my faith. So, um, but anyways, so the next someone said, have you ever thought about debating Hindus against 3 million gods and goddesses?
No, I'm good. They're already proven themselves to be pagans. Why should I do that? If they believe in multiple gods, then then it's already there. I mean, I yeah, I don't like it. No, I don't want to deal with Hinduism.
Oh, and then the one on Instagram, they were asking, they're like, do Muslims believe that Jesus is the Messiah?
Yes, of course they do believe that. Yeah. Now let me just actually respond to a sister or brother in the comment. They say they also believe in the three in one God. No, they don't believe that. Like our Trinity, Bahma, Vishnu, and Meshwara. No, they don't believe in that. They believe that they are three separated beings. They don't believe that they all share in that same essence. Right? They don't believe in that. So please, guys, let's not misunderstand. Let's not give a false you know interpretation, because they believe in the three separated beings. Us, we believe in one being, one existence of being that is distinct to three persons, shares in that same essence.
It's Prolab Chloe's like, would Silv ever debate a pro abort? LOL.
If I learn about it, yeah, I don't mind doing that, actually, for the sake of course, the unborn babies, yeah.
Okay, so I think that would be all the questions for today. I think we held you up for too long, but hey, this was fun. Honestly, I liked it. I like getting to know you better. You'd be surprised. I actually like not only had I already wanted to collaborate with you, but I actually had some people reach out to me and they really wanted me to collaborate with you as well, which is crazy. But because a lot of the followers that are on here, they're also following me on Instagram, and a lot of them were like, "Hey, like if you ever want to collaborate with somebody, like you should collaborate with King Silv, William Aberrate, Sam, all those people. They're like to be great, Divine Mercy Apologetics." And I was like, "All right." And so I'm really glad that you said yes to doing this. I think you're funny. Honestly, the work that you're doing is great. Um, I love you seeing popping off at the Muslims. That's my favorite thing. Um,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, thank you for actually having me. It's a pleasure to be here and and to talk about what we actually talked about as well. You kind of put me in the hot seat for a little bit, but it was good overall. It was definitely good.
yeah, yeah. I think it's really good because, like, I want people to get to know you a little bit more. Because obviously, because the cool thing about it is like, that's what I love. I think about you guys in general. It's just like yes, we see you guys debate and do all these different things, but when you guys are actually able to like sit down and talk and like really get to show us a different side of you, or just just really get to know the history behind why you do what you do and why
Right.
you're so passionate about our faith. I think that's a different story, and not a lot of people like to do that. So I'm really happy that you're one of the people that said yes, I'm doing this. Like this was actually really enjoyable for me, and I love getting to know about like the stuff that you do, the interesting stuff about Islam that honestly I think I didn't even imagine all of that. So I think it's really cool.
Sure, definitely. Yeah. Well, thank you, sister. Should we wrap it up with the Aramaic prayer again?
Yes. First, go ahead and tell us for maybe those on my channel because I know some of them are gonna be watching later. Where can they find you? I'll link it down in the bio as well. But just let them know
Yeah, of
where they can
course.
they find you.
Yeah, they can find me on YouTube. You guys can find me on TikTok, which is King Silv. All of it, King Silv. All you just got to do is type King Silv on YouTube. You'll find me. Type King Silv. King Silv actually zero zero zero. You'll find me on TikTok. And what else? Yeah, that's about it. And I'm thinking about creating an Instagram, which would be for this. I do have an Instagram, but it's personal, private. So
Yeah.
but I'm thinking about creating a one for this.
Public one.
Yeah,
That'd be fun. You should though, because I think that'd be really cool. I think you'll reach a lot more people on there too. You'd be surprised. A lot of people are into Instagram lives, so
right,
yeah,
for
the
sure.
Muslims will have a blast with you on there.
Yeah, they're gonna have a good time, man. We're going.
Mm. Thank you
Yeah,
guys so much for watching. We are going to conclude it with our brother ending us in prayer. But seriously, for all those who are watching on his channel, seriously, thank you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. So that was fun getting to know him on a personal level. So thank you so much, brother, again for doing this. This was truly a blessing for me.
of course, sister. Of course, you're welcome. All right. شمة بابا تبرونا تروح تقودش خالها آمين. بابا نديلي بشمية بايش قدشة شموخ أتيم الكوثو خاوي عجبونوخ دغديلي بشمية هذا خمرة هلا لخما سمقان ديومانا شوق طالا دمخني شقلا لا ندخ طيلي إلا لما برتن جورابا إلا مخالصا بيشو سبب ديوخي لملكوثة خيلة وتشبح العالم ألمين آمين شمة بابا تبرونا تروح قدشة خالها آمين.
All right. Thank you guys. God bless. And make sure to check out his stuff if you haven't already. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. God
All
bless you.
right.